Okay, great. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, and dear colleagues. Good morning and welcome to the 2023 Global Symposium on Weapons and Ammunition Management. My name is Grand-Clément and I'm a researcher at UNIDIR. I will be your moderator for the opening session of the symposium. We are delighted that so many distinguished participants from governments, international organizations, civil society, and research institutions have joined us today, both in person here in Geneva and online, to engage in important discussions on frameworks, policies, and practices for the management of weapons and ammunition throughout their life cycle. Before officially starting the opening session, I would like to provide a few logistical and administrative remarks. For those of you joining us virtually, please note that this symposium is being live streamed through a Zoom conference platform. In the unlikely event that we experience any technical difficulties that disrupt the live stream, we will work to quickly resolve the issue and notify participants of any changes. Simultaneous interpretation into French and Spanish will be available throughout the day. If you are following in either of those languages, please ensure your audio settings are configured accordingly. Si vous souhaitez suivre en français, veuillez à sélectionner le bon canal de diffusion audio dans la salle et en ligne. Today, we will be using an online polling and questionnaire platform to gauge participant perspectives during the symposium. This will be particularly useful for our session 4 on topics and pathways forward. We will provide a reminder to share your views as we progress through the day so all can have an opportunity to shape that discussion. Please also note that sessions are being recorded and will be available on UNIDIR's YouTube channel. So I want to thank all participants for joining us to advance this important topic. We have a full day of rich discussion ahead. And therefore, without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite our first speaker, UNIDIR's director, Dr. Robin Geiss, to offer some welcoming remarks. Robin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Sarah. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to the 2023 Global Symposium on Weapons and Ammunition Management, organized by the United Nations Institute for Disarmament Research, UNIDIR, that's us, and our Conventional Arms and Ammunition Program. So on behalf of UNIDIR, we're truly delighted to having you with us for this first of its kind, I think, global exchange on ways to strengthen weapons and ammunition management. The United Nations Secretary General in the new Agenda for Peace emphasizes that illicit arms flows and their proliferation, diversion, and misuse undermine the rule of law, hinder conflict prevention, peace building. They enable criminal acts, including terrorist acts, human rights abuses, and gender-based violence. They drive displacement and migration, and overall, they stunt development. Conventional arms, including small arms and light weapons and ammunition, continue to be the real weapons of mass destruction. They are the everyday weapon of choice and the root cause really of instability in so many parts of the world. What is more, they typically and disproportionately affect regions that are already affected by a wide range of global challenges for human development. Now, clearly then, effective through life cycle weapons and ammunition management is critical. It ensures that these items are not diverted to the illicit trade, that they're not trafficked and misused. And promoting and supporting the effective through life management of weapons and ammunition should be one of the highest priorities for anyone interested in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and in working towards peace and prosperity in the 21st century. This symposium on weapons and ammunition management, WAM for short, and if we need an acronym here, is not only highly relevant for achieving such goals, but for a number of reasons we feel it's also particularly timely. 2023 is a significant year, significant for global conventional arms control community in general and the weapons and ammunition management community in particular. The SG's new Agenda for Peace points to the importance of reducing the human cost of conventional weapons misuse, implicitly calling for the UN and member states to work together to strengthen national WAM frameworks, policies, and practice. We have also seen more UN Security Council resolutions lately calling for the UN to make use of the WAM toolbox in situations of conflict, post-conflict transitions with regard to armed violence and also with regard to threats posed by acts of terrorism and organized crime. The Security Council has increasingly utilized WAM as an integral component of the implementation, the monitoring and benchmarking of UN sanctions, regimes and arms embargoes. And in addition, member states are more and more frequently asking the UN to provide support and coordinated actions for strengthening WAM at the national level. Now, 2023 not only marks the 10th anniversary of the adoption of the Arms Trade Treaty, but also the year in which member states in the UN General Assembly's First Committee adopted a new global framework for through-life conventional ammunition management. And this global framework, previously one amongst the still missing pieces, closes a normative and a regulatory gap, and it represents a remarkable achievement, I find, for the international community in a very challenging geostrategic context. We hope at UNIDIR that it can help also to inform and lay the foundations for a successful UN Programme of Action Review Conference in 2024. Last, but certainly not least, the importance of developments at the regional level cannot be overemphasized. And this is why we devoted an entire first panel at our symposium to recent regional developments, and you will get to hear it shortly. Now, against this backdrop, I'm really delighted to say that UNIDIR has, in line with its mandate, been one of the thought-leading research institutions promoting a comprehensive through-life approach for WAM. Over the past 10 years, UNIDIR has established a well-earned reputation for high-quality research, expertise, tools, and for offering dialogue opportunities on these crucially important issues. And this symposium really for us marks a decade of research and hard work to gather evidence, learn lessons, and collectively strengthen national, regional, and international efforts in the field of weapons and ammunition management. Now, more specifically, and to give you just two examples of UNIDIR activities and what they've included, first of all, national level support for states and national authorities in 15 states in the African, the Middle Eastern, and the American region. We have helped to establish baselines for WAM policy and practice through the use of UNIDIR's national WAM baseline reference methodology. Through nationally led and multi-stakeholder consultative processes, UNIDIR has contributed towards the identification of national and regional priorities, as well as the establishment of a roadmap for action to strengthen national WAM frameworks. In addition to the national level support that we've provided, at the regional level and in close cooperation with our partners, we have captured lessons learned and identified good, effective practices for continuous learning, cross-regional exchanges, and improvements. This has included the regional lessons learned seminars organized with the African Union and in cooperation with ECOWAS in both 2021 and 2022. Now, UNIDIR's WAM approach is clearly and really always has been informed by national and regional ownership and experience. From the outset, from the start, our evidence-based applied research approach relies on cooperation with national authorities, regional organizations, NGOs, and civil society experts. This cooperative, inclusive, gender-sensitive, and responsive approach has enabled UNIDIR to develop and deliver research and tools that can be used by our partners to ensure the sustainable strengthening of national and regional frameworks. Throughout the years, UNIDIR's approach to WAM has also promoted a UN-wide, system-wide approach. We have and still seek to provide ideas for action to ensure that the UN as a whole is able to provide high-quality, effective guidance and tools to member states seeking support and assistance. In this regard, we're committed to maximizing the individual and collective impacts of the United Nations. It is therefore our hope that this symposium, really a first of its kind, provides a platform for the sharing of information, experiences, and knowledge among a range of different stakeholders in three principal areas. First, on new developments regarding international normative frameworks, policies, and practices covering through-life management of conventional weapons and ammunition. Second, a platform for discussing lessons learned for strengthening national frameworks, policies and practices for through-life management of weapons, including small arms and light weapons and ammunition as well. And then thirdly, to discuss how to enhance national ownership and approaches for international cooperation, including assistance for strengthening national frameworks, policies and practices. The support UNIDIR receives from its donors provides the foundation for all of UNIDIR's activities. And so I would like to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the governments of Finland, of France, of Germany, and Switzerland for their support of UNIDIR. It enables us to undertake this kind of research and work for which we're most grateful. Together with our state, UN, regional, and non-governmental partners, we are committed to continue providing high-quality knowledge products, fit for purpose and actionable tools, as well as to offer our convening function in support of our collective efforts. Surely it is our hope that this symposium is just the first step of a longer journey, which we look forward to walking together with all of you. And I therefore encourage you to participate very actively throughout the day. Please do contribute to this symposium and to our very humble efforts in contributing to lay the foundations for a more stable and secure world, conducive to sustainable development for all. I wish you very fruitful and productive discussions throughout the day, and I thank you very much for coming here and look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, for these welcoming remarks. Next, I have the honor of introducing Ambassador Thomas Goebel, Permanent Representative of Germany to the Conference on Disarmament in Geneva, to provide us with his opening remarks. With that, I turn it over to you, Ambassador.
Okay. This works? Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, dear participants, let me start by thanking UNIDIR for hosting this important symposium today and for the opportunity to say a few words during this opening statement. Germany and UNIDIR enjoy a long-standing cooperation, including in the field of conventional arms control in general, and in the field of through-life weapons and ammunition management in particular. UNIDIR has always played an instrumental role in the provision of research and expertise. In the field of conventional ammunition management, this has included the support of the chairs and co-chairs, member states and other stakeholders during the OEWG 2021-2023 and the GGE 2022-2023, as well as the initial and informal consultations and regional meetings through which it has contributed towards the success of the process. Because just a few weeks ago, I'm sure you all know this, the first committee adopted the draft resolution through life conventional ammunition management with an overwhelming support, no votes against it, and just a few abstentions. And this resolution essentially serves as the vehicle to turn the global framework for through life conventional ammunition management into reality. As recommended in June of this year by the open-ended working group to elaborate a set of political commitments as a new global framework that would address existing gaps in through-life ammunition management. Germany, as the chair of the OEWG, is especially delighted by this result, but it is certainly our common success. Perhaps we should all take a moment to savor the significance of this very decision, because for the first time in more than 10 years, the United Nations have successfully concluded negotiations of a new instrument on conventional arms control. After more than 3 decades of deliberations on the issue of ammunition management, the orphan of conventional arms control, has finally found a home under the roof of the United Nations. This is a tremendous achievement in our collective efforts to reduce the risks and human costs of illicit trafficking and diversion of conventional ammunition, as well as to prevent and mitigate unplanned explosions at munition sites. Throughout the negotiation process, delegations have shown remarkable dedication and collaboration and a true spirit of multilateralism and compromise that allowed the UEWG to reach such a remarkable milestone without a vote. And this should remind us that, even against the background of a very challenging political environment, progress, compromise, goodwill, and multilateral collaboration are possible when there is a political will to succeed. The global framework is a collective step forward in solidifying through-life conventional ammunition management as an issue of standalone concern and responses, which requires dedicated and sustained attention from the international community. It closes the gap of a dedicated regulatory instrument on conventional ammunition at the international level, while complementing and reinforcing relevant existing international and regional instruments on conventional arms control. The implementation of the global framework will promote efforts to prevent unplanned explosions at munition sites, which have caused devastating damage and destruction to communities, but also to lives and the environment. Let us collectively ensure that the elaboration and adoption of this global framework is not the end of our common journey, but a crucial first step towards achieving through-life conventional ammunition security and safety for lasting peace, security, and sustainable development. Let us at the same time look at the obvious, the synergies between the various instruments which are now in our hands, and let us not forget the ATD in doing so, as only a comprehensive approach will allow us to connect the dots and establish a real through-life ammunition management. I'm convinced that the symposium today will contribute raising awareness of relevant, applicable international frameworks and processes for through-life management of conventional weapons. And I wish all participants, states, and other relevant stakeholders an enriching experience in sharing knowledge, information, and experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador, for these remarks and also for being here with us today. We are grateful for Germany's ongoing cooperation and support to UNIDIR. Now it is my sincere pleasure to announce a pre-recorded keynote address by Ambassador Maritza Valverde, Permanent Representative of Costa Rica to the United Nations in New York.
Good morning, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues and guest speakers. I want to welcome you to the 2023 Global Symposium on Weapons and Ammunition Management, Frameworks, Policies, and Practices. We're here in an effort to explore strategies that allow for better coordination and collaboration on weapons and ammunition management, ones that integrate one in our work on peace and security, as well as on human rights and sustainable development. I would also like to thank UNIDIR for organizing this one-day event, which provides us with an opportunity to reflect on the new set of political commitments that were formulated by the Open and the Working Group on Conventional Ammunition, which was adopted in June of this year. Effective management of weapons and ammunition throughout their life cycles is fundamentally important to promoting international peace and security. Coordinated international efforts on WAM have the potential to curb diversion, misuse, and unplanned explosions, thereby reducing armed violence and improving respect for human rights. While a holistic approach to WAM encompassing all conventional weapons is crucial, in my remarks today, I intend to focus on the significant developments that have been achieved in the area of ammunition management in particular. After more than 3 decades, the issue of ammunition management is no longer an orphan, as we have collectively found it a home. The global framework marks the end of a long process that began almost 3 decades ago. This not only constitutes a positive signal for multilateral arms control, but also has the capacity to generate a tangible impact on the ground by tackling the safety and security risks of conventional ammunition. On one hand, it seeks to counter trafficking and diversion of ammunition, which contributes to fuel instability, insecurity, armed violence, and conflict across regions and around the world. On the other hand, it aims to prevent unplanned explosions at munition sites, which otherwise cause devastating damage and destructions to communities, lives, and livelihoods. The scope of the framework covers all types of ammunition, from small caliber ammunition to the largest conventional ammunition systems, and takes a through-life management approach to address the dual risk associated with conventional ammunition at every stage of its life cycle, from the point of manufacture through pre-transfer, transfer, relocation and transport, stockpiling to recovery, and their eventual use or disposal. The implementation of the global framework will therefore make a key contribution to reducing the human cost of weapon and ammunition, as called by the Secretary General's new Agenda for Peace. I welcome in particular the dedicated commitment to strengthening gender mainstreaming and the full, equal, meaningful, and effective participation of women in through-life conventional ammunition management in the global framework. Integrating gender perspectives provides essential impacts into the differential impact of conventional ammunition diversion and explosions on various groups and individuals. To mainstream gender, we need to strengthen the collection of sex and age disaggregated data related to conventional ammunition and utilize gender analysis as the basis for the development of ammunition management policy, practice, and programming. Gender equality in ammunition management is still also lagging. To effectively and sustainably implement the global framework, we need to advance the participation of women in all stages of through-life ammunition management, including in technical roles. The recognition of the need for a multi-stakeholder approach in the global framework is also applaudable. International and regional organizations, civil society, non-governmental organizations, academia, research institutions, and industry will all be key actors for international assistance and cooperations to enhance through-life and conventional ammunition management in the implementation of the global framework. While state-driven implementation efforts are essential, the global framework has attributed a critical role in the regional level, recognizing the different regional and national circumstances. The global commitments will need to be translated into actions through the strengthening and elaboration of dedicated regional and sub-regional mechanisms to achieve their full potential. Following its adoption, political commitments must be genuinely executed at the international, regional, and national levels. Only then they will make a difference, effectively improving the lives of individuals and communities affected by armed conflict, violence, and aggression resulting from the mismanagement and illicit circulation of conventional ammunition. Member states, UN entities, international and regional organizations, and other stakeholders, including civil society, will need to closely collaborate in the process of implementing this global framework. Only through this collective, multi-layer, whole-of-a-system approach for safe, sustainable, and secure through-life conventional ammunition management, policy, and practice, we will be able to achieve our common aim of reducing the human cost of ammunition. The human cost of ammunition reflected in over 30,000 people killed or injured due to over 600 instances of unplanned explosions on munition sites recorded between 1979 and 2021. The human cost of ammunition is reflected in more than 200,000 firearm-related violent deaths worldwide involving diverted ammunition in 2020. It is revealing the millions of people who live in fear of firearms ammunition from criminals, terrorists, organized criminal groups, or even members of their own households. We now have a roadmap to make a difference in the world by addressing the risks posed by the diversion of conventional ammunition and unplanned explosions at munition sites. Effective weapons and ammunition management thus remains critically important for global stability. Valuable work has been done for years to strengthen approaches at all levels. Through collaborative research and regional dialogues, a better understanding of good and effective practices is emerging. National assessments, such as the UNIDIR 1 baseline assessments, in particular, provide vital insight into on-the-ground dynamics. And events such as this global symposium play a key role in translating commitments to cooperative action. By bringing diverse voices together, we can foster solutions that make a real difference. Ongoing work in this spirit of partnership holds great promise. I trust that with continued open-minded discussion and practical support for national authorities, meaningful progress can be achieved on this significant issue. In closing, I wish all participants a highly productive day ahead and extend thanks in advance to the experts for what will surely be insightful presentations. As we embark on this journey, let us strive for ownership at the national level, ensuring that each stakeholder plays a pivotal role. Let's foster seamless coordination at the regional level, recognizing the interconnected nature of our shared challenges. Here's to a session marked by shared vision, collaboration, and tangible progress. I thank you.
We would like to thank Ambassador Maritza Valverde for this insightful keynote address, providing such a well-articulated introduction to this symposium. We are grateful for the setting of the scene and already highlighting some options and avenues for the WAM community of policy and practice moving forward. This keynote address, along with the introductory remarks, provide an excellent basis as we embark on today's discussions. With this, I would like to once again thank Ambassador Maritza Valverde from Costa Rica, Ambassador Thomas Goebel from Germany, and Dr. Robin Geiss for their remarks. We are looking forward to an interesting, informative, and productive day.